So can you just explain a bit about your job, because it's not like farming in the sort of traditional sense of the word?
No, so we have a lot of little bits of land dotted about. We don't have like your traditional farmhouse and you farm out your back door. Don't think many young people trying to get into agriculture have that sort of opportunity at the moment. So we have sort of like 15 acres here, another 7 down the road, all sort of, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 miles away. So yeah, so we don't have the base and everything on site. We have to travel between the two, but that's our sort of foot in the door, and that's the only way that you seem to be able to acquire bits of land at the moment, is to be sort of happy to do things that others may not be.
So DEFRA and like government bodies have put forward the idea that it would be public money for public goods after Brexit. So they're going to support farmers and almost incentivise them to take bits of land and let them go back to nature.
Okay.
Especially sort of the bits of land which aren't the best for farming, sort of uplands and that sort of areas. Is that enough incentive for farmers, or do you think there's still going to be a lot of friction?
I think obviously money helps with everything. If you're, say for instance, you've got some ground with high stocking densities on it, you're then going to be making more money out of that stock because you've got more numbers there. That's sort of simple. But if you're going to get a subsidy to reduce your stocking densities, let more sort of broadleaf and scrubby species grow, I think that will help. I think you've got to be in the right mindset to start with. I don't think you can just give somebody a pot full of money and say rewild your farm. They won't do it. I think you've got to be somebody who understands what is necessary for your bit of ground, how you can get the best out of it, whether that be for agriculture, nature, or both. For instance, this bit of ground we're on now, I couldn't plough this up and grow cereals. It's heavy clay, the estuary's right there. That would be silly of me, but somebody who didn't understand that and thought there's 15 acres there, we'll go down there and we'll grow some cereals, and that'd be great. So I think you've got to know what's best for your bit of ground. I know that I can stock this fairly heavily in the summer and everything still flourish, but come the winter time I need to reduce my stocking densities massively. It gets so wet, the grass doesn't grow as well, and I want to give the ground a bit of a rest. So that's sort of my way of understanding what I've got here. I work in a way that my numbers are quite low, and they're all primitive native breeds as well. So I know that I can put my herdwicks down here and they're not going to suffer for a lack of grass because they love the broadleaf species and the bramble that's in the hedgerow. They'll much prefer to push into that and chew off that than they will stand in the middle of the field. So I think it's about matching your animals with your ground, or your crop with your ground, and the ground conditions and what is going on around you as well. If you put a fence around this, didn't let any grazing animals in, you'd have trees in 20 years' time. You'd have bramble and trees, which is great for a very small percentage of wildlife. But wildlife loves edges. It doesn't like a block cover. So to create that edges and that mishmash of grassland and scrub and trees and woodland, you need to have some form of scrub control, whether that be mechanical, which obviously isn't ideal. If you can have some animals doing that job for you, why not introduce that? I mean, obviously on the mainland they have deer. We don't have that on the island, so there's no constant roaming graziers. So livestock needs to be put in place at the right stocking densities at the right time of year to control the growth that's happening of certain species that you don't want to encourage too much spread of.